One thing that I just wanted to come on and talk about, I don't know what's going on with this phone, is last night our Bible study was really good. Genesis chapter 11, and it was right at the end where it says that Tamar, or Abraham's dad, right? Abraham's father decided that he was going to go to Canaan. And it was really interesting because um, Tamar don't really believe in God, but um, he served idol gods. And I think we could kind of relate because before we found Jesus and those that have not, there is this thing where um, we we do things of our own, right? We do things of our own, and believe it or not, we're idolizing ourselves, right? We're making ourselves and our thoughts and the things that we want to do above what Christ wants us to do, right? And so tomorrow, as he's serving these idol gods, I believe it's not in the word, but I believe that as he's searching for God, right? Because even in all that we do, we're created in God's image. And we're always looking for something. And I always feel like there's something missing. And the thing that we're missing is God. A lot of times it's God that we're missing, that thing that we're searching for. And we just like, we're trying to find this love, trying to find this perfect person that can love us. We're trying to find this perfect job to fulfill us. We're trying to find all these things to make us happy and all these things. But what we really need is God. What we're truly searching for, what our soul is searching for, is God. And so I feel like that's what was happening with Tamar, right? And Terah, that is his name, Terah. And so he hears the voice of God, and I'm just assuming because we have these thoughts of things that we want to do in our life, but not really realizing it's God that's speaking to us and telling us to do these things. Certain things, not all things, certain things, right? What we want to be when we grow up. It's that feeling, that desire that's within us, that burns within us, that we just can't like shake. It's that thing that God has for us, that that gift that we have to share with the world. And I just feel like Terah was there, and he heard the voice of God, but not recognizing who he was. Told him to go to Canaan, because later on we'll see that Abraham hears God's voice and God tells him where to go. But this time he didn't tell Abraham exactly where to go. He didn't say go to Canaan. He just said go to a place and I'll show you. But I feel like Terah heard the voice of God that says go to Canaan. God didn't give him a reason why he was supposed to go to Canaan, but I feel like God told him to go to Canaan. And it says that he set out to go from Ur to Canaan. He packed up his family and was like, we're moving to Beverly, right? So they go to Canaan, or they're headed to Canaan, and it says that he stopped in Haran or Haran or whatever it was and settled there. Okay, and so that really caught my attention. Like, there are times in our lives where God is telling us to do things, or God wants us to do certain things, or go certain places, or have certain things, but we settle, right? We settle for less than what it was. So I did a little digging a little bit, and one place said that
Power off.
It went to he went from Ur to Haran, or wherever he settled. It was about 400 miles from where he should have been. 400 miles less. Like, so from Ur to Canaan was about 1,000 miles to 1,200 miles, and he walked at least 700 miles. He walked at least 700 of those 1,000 miles, or 700 of those 1,200 miles. And then he settled. He was so close. And he settled. And I was wondering, if he made up in his mind to go to a certain place, why didn't he just go all the way? You know, we make up in our mind that we're going to serve Christ. But why don't we go all the way? You know, why don't we go all the way? So I was thinking in my mind, even with my walk, and I'm saying, Tara probably said, this journey is hard. Like, getting rejected by people that you knew, because they're saying, oh, you're leaving us because you think you're going to be better, or whatever it is that you're too good for her now, that you feel like you got to go to the land of Canaan. Like, a lot of times in life, when God calls us out of where we've been and telling us to go to greater, people around us don't understand what God is telling us. And so they think that we think that we're better. We're not. We're trying to put ourselves in a better position. And we know that with God, the Almighty, we're always in a better position than without him, right? And I felt him so much, because even with God dealing with me right now, on some things like building character and these little, because he said that it's the small foxes that spoil the vine. And there are little things that I'm going through, and it's just like, I don't know if I like this, you know? I don't know if I really want to do this. You know, sometimes you question, like, I don't know if I want to go through this hardship. And then there's another part of me is like, I'm not worthy of this thing that God is calling me to do. It's a small little thing, but I don't feel like I'm qualified. But God qualified those who he called, right? So guess what? During the process of you getting to wherever it is that God has called you to be, he's going to qualify you. You will go through things. And a lot of times people say, well, why do God let bad things happen to good people? Sometimes these bad things happen to build up the character, to build up the thing, you know, or to uproot things in us that we didn't even know was there. So know that it's worth it. God says that he'll turn all these evil things around for your good, right? Those that are called to his purpose. So if bad things are happening, or if you're scared of the struggle or whatever it may be, know that God will turn those things around for your good. So y'all, don't settle. He was right there. A lot of us get to the promise and we just decide it's too hard, or I don't want to take the scrutiny, or I don't want to go through, or whatever it is, whatever the situation is right now, it's hard and I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be alone. I want to have fun, or whatever it is that we're trading in for God's promise. What are you trading in for God's promise? What are you settling for? God has promised you greater. He said he can do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or think, right? And he said that he came that you may have life and have it in abundance. Why are we settling? And I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about even emotionally, spiritually. Like, there are things. Why are you settling for these things when God has greater for you? God has promised greater for you. He said that he knows the plan that he has for you. And it's a plan not to harm you, but to give you a future, right? Why are we settling? Why are we settling? And I was just thinking about that, because I really can relate. Like, I'm good, God. I'm good where I'm at. Like, you're supplying my needs. We have a good relationship. You know, you use me occasionally. I'm good. Right? I'm good. But we're not really good until we're where God wants us to be. Right? Because when God made everything, it was good for what? The purpose of that he made it for. Excuse me, y'all. That is what was good. That they were doing the thing that he purposed them to do. That's what made it good. So it's not good until you're doing that thing that God purposed you for. So y'all, please don't settle. Don't settle. Your life could be so much greater. Like, it could be better if you don't settle. Don't settle. Like, you are right there when stuff start hitting the fan, when things are bad. I know that's like something that people always say, when the devil throwing everything at you but the kitchen sink, know that your blessing is right around the corner. And 9 times out of 10 it probably is. And the devil is trying to do any and everything to stop you, to get you to curse God, to stop you so that you don't make it to your promise. And even if that promise is just for a season, until the next thing, until you grow and mature a little more, that God could take you somewhere else, do not settle. Do not settle. Y'all, I love y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. And don't forget, do not settle.